Hello, and we're back doing another round of Pokopia and politics. So tonight's gonna be a little bit different. We are going to be talking through a bunch of updates in particular, also in relation to both the campaign, a legislative update, and we're also going to try to meet a fundraising goal tonight. So we're curious to see if this is actually going to work out, but I'm really excited for it. So we're just getting set up here. I'm gonna give folks a couple minutes to join, and very excited. So feel free to drop your questions, and if you are able to donate, please do, and we'll give folks shout outs that are giving. But either way, also please drop your questions because that is sort of a very big part of this. Also, I somehow forget how to do TikTok literally every time. Why am I like this? Literally, why am I like this? Oh, I figured it out again. Let's go. We're good. We're good. Everything's fine, everybody. Everyone relax. We're good. But I hope everyone's doing well tonight and that things are going well. I know the horrors persist, but so will we, is my kind of goal here today. But I figured that what we'll do is I'll kind of tell you where we are in the storyline right now. And then as we do this, please, if you can, donate to our campaign because we can finally fundraise again now that session's over. So just so y'all know, if you haven't been keeping up, so I'm running for Senate District 7, and that includes Berkeley Lake, Duluth, Norcross, Peachtree Corners, Lawrenceville, and Suwanee. I currently represent Berkeley Lake, Duluth, Norcross, and Peachtree Corners. We're adding on Suwanee and Lawrenceville, and that's the Senate district that I'm running for. And we obviously have been door knocking, but we, one, really need you to sign up and volunteer. But two, while I was down at the legislature, my opponent's been able to fundraise. And so we have been significantly, unfortunately, outraised, and we now need to catch up. So I think sometimes people think that candidates who are progressive and have a platform, they're going to be fine, that, they've got the support, they're good to go. But unfortunately, that is not the case. Now, that's the overarching sort of where we are in the campaign. Now, some really cool news is that we've been endorsed by Jason Carter. We've been endorsed by Congressman Hank Johnson. And today, New American Leaders Action Fund endorsed our campaign, which I'm very excited about. I've loved partnering with them in the past. And then last but not least is that, I don't know if y'all saw, but a couple weeks ago, we got the Working Families Party endorsement. So at the end of the day, this is sort of, unfortunately, in a really weird, bizarre way, establishment versus progressives for some reason. Oops, no, come back. And so that's where we are. So drop your questions. I will be answering them as we go, and I will be giving sort of every 5, 10, 15 minutes, maybe shout outs to people who donate. And yeah, we'll go from there. But anyways, so let's get to it. Okay, in case anyone's wondering, so here's where we are. We have, as you all know, if you haven't sort of been keeping up, Pokopia is a game where there are sort of these there's a storyline, right? Ditto was able to get out of his conservation space, and now he's trying to find where all the humans are. And the sort of where we are in the game right now is trying to find the humans. And I think, right, there's obviously, different missions. Some of it is to make Pokemon that you are able to find happier, but the main one is this. It's, you got to try to gather all these materials and fill up essentially the capsule here and go from there. So some of it did kind of get spoiled for me, but I'm not gonna spoil it for you. So right now I am in this deep dark mine because I'm trying to find gold, which is kind of on theme with tonight, where we're trying to find donations for our campaign. But as I do this, I would love to, like I said, answer your questions. So please feel free to ask them, and I will answer them as we go. Also, I have not seen these guys since I actually made their habitats. So, oh, how lovely. Do I have clay on me? Great. That's so funny, because I need some bricks. See how things work out when people show up for each other? Anyways, so let's get this guy to make us some bricks, because our goal is we need, so I've got, I think, all the concrete that I need. Let me double check. yeah, I've got all the concrete I need. I just need bricks and I need some gold. So to get the gold, you gotta like literally just smash your way through. But also, how's this guy doing? It's been a while. Oh, I forgot he asked me for a bed a while back. Sorry. I also can't remember where he lives. Y'all, the thing about this game is that you go into like different worlds and then you kind of forget where you were. So, and like what you're supposed to be doing. But, and then, oh, also, so that's like I said, campaign going well, but we really need volunteers and we really need donations. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, the Georgia legislative session is about it's 40 legislative days, but they tend to space them out. And that means that it tends to go for about 2.5 months. And our last day of the legislative session was actually, hold on, let me eat a quick salad real quick. Our last day of the legislative session was actually last Thursday. Well, we adjourned at like 1 a.m. Friday. What? I ate a salad. I thought this is supposed to make me like... Wait, hold on. Wait. Hold on. Am I about to find out that seaweed salads are not as effective as regular salads? Bro. Okay. We're just gonna go around this because I don't know why this thing isn't working. So. Also, fun fact, you can accidentally kill all of your Pokemon by like unleashing like lava on everybody, and it's now my biggest like fear. Oh, sorry. Hold on. Apparently we have game echo. I shall fix right now. Because I know how to do that now. I hope y'all are proud of me. Hold on, I think I'm the problem actually. Fixed it. Cool. Okay. So yeah, so as I was saying, oh, is this gold? Are you gold? I think this might be gold. Oh, how lovely. Why does it keep doing that? Okay. You know what? Nice. Look at us go. Okay, so Sine Die, as I was saying, was last Thursday, but we got out technically 1 a.m. Friday. And so the thing about that is that means we're done with session. That's why I can now fundraise again. And what was really interesting about this legislative session is actually a few things. Oh, there's gold hiding here. First and foremost, what I found really weird was how completely like discombobulated Republicans are. Like you would think that they now control every branch of government on every level of government in Georgia, right? So you're talking state, city, or not city, because different cities have different folks in power, but they control government on a state level. They control government on a federal level. They control government on a executive, legislative, judicial branch, and yet they are just like in complete chaos. And to like really hone this in for y'all, I mean, they would. Ooh. Wait, I took this photo. Maybe? Okay, or maybe like we're reliving. I don't know what kind of inception just happened. I can't think about that right now. But anyways, long story short, what I found like really interesting was, to give y'all an example, a gun bill failed on the House floor, and like it came for a vote and it somehow still failed. And I, to this day, like genuinely still can't believe that happened, because that's normally unheard of, I think, especially for a bill like that during an election year where a lot of them have primaries, a lot of them have I'm gonna put a little box over here. I'll come back for it later if I remember. A lot of them have oh, sorry, 1 second. Like, what's it called? Was that a... I didn't realize you could hear the birds so deep into the mines. But yeah, and so like a gun bill failed on the floor, and then there were like a bunch of other bills that would fail, and it was because like they just were in complete and total disarray, and I've never seen anything like it. We also saw Like, for example, it's an election year, and they kept introducing these like quote unquote anti-Sharia bills, and yet none of them got a vote. We saw like even like they couldn't even agree on what kind of tax bill they wanted, so they had to shove through a bill that is technically unconstitutional. Actually, I'm not even gonna say technically. It is unconstitutional, because what it does is it effectively says that in the Constitution it says that any revenue bills, meaning bills related to taxes and change our revenue in any way, must originate in the House. In plain terms, the bill that talks about our taxes needs to begin in the House chamber, so it needs to be a House bill. It should be HB something or another. And what Republicans did is they actually took a Senate Bill 33, they shoved a bunch of tax language in there, and then they passed it like on the last night of session. And what we're trying to figure out is it's super unconstitutional. And also, why couldn't they get their act together enough to be able to just pass it on its own merit? It was all really, really strange. So anyways, I'm gonna do a quick check. But yeah, so it was like really, really weird. But it was really, really strange, because I remember like just looking, I mean, the House could have also just not passed the bill, because when a bill goes from sort of the House to the Senate or vice versa, and any changes are made, then the other chamber has to agree to those changes, because that's not technically what we passed. And what I found really weird was that they couldn't pass anything. And when they did finally pass something, it was always through an agree disagree, even on some of their big policies and big issues. So not a good time for Republicans right now. But let me check our little, hold on. I've never streamed and done this before, so bear with me, because now I'm like quadruple tasking, I think. Anyways, but yes. So but anyway, so for those of you just now joining us, in terms of a task that we're doing, we are currently trying to do this, one of the like main tasks, which is actually the storyline. So we're trying to get 10 more bricks. I've already collected like 20 pieces of gold that we have to turn into this, and I have enough concrete. And we're talking about both my race and the recent session that we just ended. So feel free to drop your questions and comments, and I will react to them. But so far, y'all are kind of quiet tonight, which kind of makes me sad. Somebody asked on YouTube, what game is that? It is Pokopia. So it's the best way I could describe Pokopia is it's a mix of Pokemon, Fortnite, Animal Crossing, and Minecraft. I've never played Minecraft. I've never played Fortnite, but my siblings have. And that's what they've been telling me, is that that's what it reminds them of. So, but yeah, drop your questions. Please donate. Like I said, my opponent has outraised us while I was in session, and I would really like to spend my time knocking doors instead of having to make phone calls. Which, again, totally appreciate getting a chance to talk to folks, but this is kind of the time in a campaign where you really, really have to be like knocking the doors. Like, it's bad. So yeah, the more y'all donate, the better. And we're setting like a pretty manageable goal. We're trying to see if we can raise $250 tonight. So, and then if we go over that goal though, that just means more streaming and more time for me to answer your questions. So, and like maybe as a treat, I can like, I don't know, share some. Problem is there hasn't really been like good gossip, you know? People have just been, I don't know, not their best recently, but like none of it is like cool stuff, you know, that a person who's like not super into politics would, you know. But yeah. Atlanta Pappy says, I don't get why people get excited about session. I don't recall any wins from it in my whole life. Wins about the legislative session? So let me actually tell you about a win. You know how people often like to say that like progressives can't get things done, and that, also I'm lost a little bit. How do I get out of here? Okay. how like progressives can't actually get anything done. Well, I'm very, very excited to share with all of you that my bill to designate EMS as an essential service has officially passed the House and the Senate and is now on the governor's desk. I had to take a ride on another bill, but it at least passed. And it was really exciting and a huge win because what this means is that now EMT, like EMS, which is ambulances, unlike law enforcement and fire, don't actually get the same kinds of grants, support, funding, etc., as law enforcement and fire. And for those of you who don't know, EMS generally is much newer, right? It was something that started in the 70s. And the even crazier part about it is that not only did EMS kind of start in the 70s, but up until last year, the ambulance plate for the ambulance license plate would, oh no, sorry. But the license plate on an ambulance would actually read ambulance/hearse. And a hearse is, what people use to, transport a body for a funeral or burial or preparation for a burial. And so literally our license plates used to say ambulance/hearse up until last year. So what my bill does is it designates EMS as an essential service because I don't know about you, but I feel like the people saving our lives should be considered essential. And it reduces a ton of red tape they have to go through and gives them a little bit more independence. Because right now they can only go through like local fire, local police, a city, a county. And that's why you see so many different ambulance providers all around the state. That's why you're pretty. And that's why you kind of see like things that you do all around. Ugh. Why am I being quizzed? Who? Oh. I don't remember. Oh. Cool. Thanks, bro. Also, I just realized. Oh, man. I gotta go back for my bricks. It's fine. Let me just go put the gold down, and then I'll go back for my bricks. Because I can never remember where Myanmar is. Hey! Donald's on here! Guys, homeboy is from the Atlanta Voice, and he's awesome and has been literally and metaphorically going all around the state. I mean, I have not seen anybody, like, I don't know how he does it, because our state is huge. Trust me, I would know. Oh, whoops. But yeah. So shout out to local journalism because it is the best, and I firmly believe it's the only way we get out of the crisis that we're in. So support local journalists. I just want... Can I get my stuff back, please? Bro. Okay. Oh boy. And then let's have them take care of this while I go back and check out the brick situation. So, but yeah, drop your questions about session, about our race. Please donate if you can. We are trying to, like I said, super doable goal of 250. So honestly, if like every person who watched this the other day donated $1, we would have gotten there. So, but we will be here until we meet it. Also, Paul was asking if we're going to do a 24-hour live stream. Please don't make me do this for 24 hours. I need sleep. I need sleep so I can keep doing more call time because being a candidate half the time is just like trying to fundraise for your team, who I love. But yeah. Also, shout out to Bonner for Georgia running an amazing campaign down there. It was really cool to hang out the other day. So follow him. Bonner, can you let us know like what your district covers? Because every district is so different and they change all the time. It's chaotic. Hi, Bethany. Welcome. Oh, so then, sorry, I was actually answering a question about why people get really excited about session. And I don't get excited about it. Like, to be clear, I don't think a lot of us get excited about it. I think I just try to find, like, the good that's happened because each year more good happens. And this year, we stopped a bill that would have criminalized librarians. Yeah, a bill that would have criminalized librarians. We stopped a bill that would have completely upended elections in Georgia. Now, a lot of people like seem to just forget about Georgia until there's like a big election crisis. So for my friends who are not in Georgia, the reason you should care about our state legislature is that the more infrastructure you help us build, the more protected you are, because Georgia has been and continues to be ground zero on so many voting related things. So the most recent problem that we've had is back in like 2022, the Republicans forced through a bill that said that we have to get rid of QR codes on our ballots. And for those who don't know, when you go to vote, you get a ballot that's printed out. And to be clear, your choices show up in writing. Like you can see, like it'll say like, House District 97 and then who you picked for that race. But there's also a QR code that helps the machine scan it faster. And they said that if we don't take off these QR codes by this year, then what that's going to happen is going to throw our elections to the courts. And as we've seen, the courts are insane. And so we tried to pass a bill to just extend the deadline on the QR code so we can have more time to fix the issue. Instead, Republicans refused to bring the bill up to the vote. We passed it in the House, and then Burt Jones decided we're just not going to vote on it. So shoves through an unconstitutional revenue bill, doesn't take up the voting bill, which now kicks it to the courts. And to be clear, this impacts everybody because Georgia still has 5 Democratic members of Congress that we're trying to send up to DC for y'all. Ossoff's race is going to be on the ballot this year. So when people are like, I don't really, like why does Georgia, like why should I care about what's happening in Georgia, especially on a state level? It's because we literally impact the rest of the country as we saw in 2020 and 2022, including the runoffs, by the way. So that's, I think, the story that's, obviously with the Iran war and everything that's happening. It's just not going to be great. So, and then Donald asked, am I looking forward to the Atlanta Press Club debates in a couple of weeks? Yes. I will say, though, I wish they were earlier because, I just feel like the voter registration deadline is in 11 days and then voting starts in 18 days. So, like, that's kind of when people start to pay attention, but also it would have been good to give people like an early opportunity to compare candidates so they can have the most time possible to like make whatever decisions they need to. Oh, thank you, Bethany. That's very sweet. Annie says, I might have missed this, but how are you feeling about the primaries in Georgia? I am excited that we have so many Democrats on the ballot this year at every level of government. I am really nervous about my primary because I think a lot of people think we're okay. And so we really need people to sign up to volunteer and donate because while I was in session, my opponent's been able to fundraise and has like outraised us like 5-1. So we really I know that a lot of people will do like pie in the sky, like the sky is falling kind of thing, but I've never been one to do that. And I really am like putting out the, help sign right now because we really, really, really need it. Like I said, he's outraised us, I think like 5-1 or something, or I don't even remember how much it is, but either way, the reality is that you still need a little bit of money to campaign. I think oftentimes, again, people see like a strong progressive candidate and assume that we're good and we're actually not. So please sign up to volunteer. Please donate if you can. And then somebody said there was like something related to this and now I can't find it anymore. Where'd it go? There was like another comment, but somebody asked about Senate Bill 437. I thought that didn't pass though. Hold on. Or that maybe we tried to kill it. Let me see. See, now I'm tracking not only Pokemon and your questions, but I'm also researching bills for you in real time. Yeah, it didn't come up for a vote in the House. So Alex H on YouTube said Senate Bill 437 proposes permitting timelines, third-party reviews, and virtual inspections. The bill, backed by national building interest, would significantly reduce local government authority. That bill didn't even come up for a vote in the House. And then somebody, Shafe M, sorry if I'm misspelling your username or mispronouncing your username, is asking, do you have any PACs you get funding from? If we get any like quote unquote PAC money, it's usually from local organizing groups. not from, like, we don't take corporate PAC money, we don't take APAC money, we don't take like those kinds of PAC money, because at the end of the day, we want to be like, I'm a deep believer that the way that you run is the way that you're going to end up governing. And so I want to govern, for people and by people. Michelle is asking, with so many Democrats in the primary, what do you hint will be the biggest criterion in deciding the best candidate? Unfortunately, name ID, which right now is currently translating into money. And I don't know how that's going to shake out. And with name ID right now, like, and it depends also on what level. And that's why I've been really urging people, like, please look up candidates, do your research. You can go look up your sample ballots right now. At least in Gwinnett, ours are available, and I was able to look mine up, and it was actually pretty cool to kind of like, oh, this is gonna take forever, to see like what's going on there. So please pull yours, because you can't take your phone in with you when you go vote. So please pull your sample ballot, and then I thought this was, no, I thought you were done. Why are you taking forever? So yeah, make sure to print out your sample ballot, fill it out. We'll be releasing endorsements as we go over the next couple of weeks, so stay tuned for that. The People's Princess has a legislative question. Please give us your question. Waiting on the People's Princess, unless... Did the People's Princess leave without asking her question? See, now I'm gonna wonder what the question was. That makes me sad. Okay, hold on. I gotta check something real quick. Alright. What are we gonna do while we wait for this? Ooh! Have y'all seen Skylands? It is horrible. It's like the worst. I'm gonna show you in a second. Let's see. Take your time on the typing. Oh, hello. Okay, she's also on YouTube. What is your question? Go for it. Let's see, what else? One thing that I was... Yes. Okay, so her question was, is there a way to see all of the bills that are going to the governor's desk? And yes, there is. If you go to legis, so legis.ga.gov, and you click on legislation and laws and all legislation, you can actually, in the more search options, it'll be like, what's the status of a bill? And you can essentially like filter by House or Senate action, and then usually, wait, no, is it House action? There's usually a way to, no, you can't. You can only look them up after they've been signed by the governor. But other than that, you kind of have to go through each one. Or see if they've been like read by committee is the other one. So you can like filter out like first read by the House, etc. Okay, what is happening and why is everyone yelling at me? What now? Why are you yelling? Why is everyone yelling right now? What are you yelling? Oh, hold on. Okay, everyone's yelling in Pokemon, and now everyone's commenting all at the same time. Oh, hey, we got a South Forsyth High School person. Oh no, I actually like ran around the entire Peachtree Corners. I love Vulpix. Hi. Okay, there's too much going on right now. Let me finish comments on TikTok, and then I'll do comments on YouTube, and then I'll go back to Pokemon. Somebody said, what's a specific bill you'd sponsor in your first year, and how would it impact people in your district? So now that my EMS as an essential service bill passed, the next bill I want to really continue to work on, which I've already introduced, but I'm going to introduce it again, because once we sine die in the second year of the biennial, all those bills, if they haven't passed, they're dead. So the bill that I want to bring back is the Consumer Utility Council bill. And this bill brings back the office that back in the day, if you got like a crazy utility bill, it was their job to investigate on your behalf and help you get recourse. Like it was an office that was basically a consumer protection office. And it was actually pretty great. So we should bring that back. We got rid of it due to the quote unquote recession and budget cuts, but it didn't cost us that much money even back then. So that would be one of the first bills I sponsor. Additionally, when I was in the House, State Rep Dewey McClain kept introducing a minimum wage bill. So I want to see if I'm elected to the state Senate, if any of my colleagues have done that bill and helped them with it and signed on to it. If they haven't, introduce a bill to raise minimum wage. And last but not least, reintroduce my bill that closes a tax loophole for corporations that buy single-family homes. Because right now, if you're a corporation, you buy a home, you get a tax break for that. And that's nuts to me. So next question is, what are your opinions on that cell phone ban for schools that passed in the state Congress? Okay, I need y'all to hear me out before everybody freaks out. I am actually a big supporter of the cell phone ban because algorithms are extremely addictive. And when we banned cell phones in schools for K through 8, it reduced student misbehavior, like students acting out. It actually increased socialization and it improved students' performance in the classroom. The sad reality is that it does work and these phones are very distracting. Now, one of the things that people keep saying is, well, they've banned cell phones before they've banned guns in the classroom. The problem with that, though, is that they found that so many people posting during a shooting has actually caused confusion during responses. And